So today we have more interesting stupidity and distraction. As Trump meets with Putin in Alaska, their deal for Zelensky is basically to hand over Donetsk and Luhansk. It's not really a deal with Ukraine so much as it is an ultimatum. Hand over parts of your territory and Russia will stop attacking you. Supposedly. And while many of us on the left have been pointing out for years now that it is important to keep Russia out of Ukraine to stop the spread of fascist aggression across Europe, Europe at least seems to understand this, even if our child-in-chief can't, because they don't want to repeat the same mistakes of Neville Chamberlain back in World War II. They don't want to just hand over some property to Russia and be like, okay, now don't go any farther, and they're like, we promise. Appeasement does not work. But remember, this whole thing is also a distraction. Yet another distraction away from Jeffrey Epstein, but also Trump's failing economy and failing presidency. Because while Trump tries to soothe his ego by bringing in a guy from the Heritage Foundation with some made-up charts about how he's doing way better than Biden somehow, we see Trump's measly job growth compared with Biden's back-to-back, month-after-month, hundreds of thousands of jobs that they created. And we see that our GDP is floundering now that companies, in preparation for Trump's tariffs, decided to buy up a whole bunch of supplies, and now our imports are tanking. Trump is also underwater in the polls on every major issue, including the Epstein scandal. Which, by the way, the Republicans' genius response to the whole thing is to keep talking about it, which is only helping us. But remember, a Republican-led committee also voted to subpoena the DOJ for the Epstein files. But geniuses like Republican James Comer, you remember the guy who completely made up and fucked up the entire Biden impeachment for 2 years, has decided the best thing to do would be to subpoena Bill and Hillary Clinton. The fact that they want to subpoena Hillary over this is completely ridiculous and hilarious, and she will tear them a new one in Congress if she testifies. Bill Clinton, along with everybody else on that list, should definitely testify about their involvement with Jeffrey Epstein. But we've already found out that Trump is on the list too, which means he should testify as to his involvement too, correct? They think this is going to be another gotcha on the Democrats, and all it's going to do is blow up in their face. Because as I pointed out yesterday, in a survey done by a Canadian analytics company, they found that only 27% of Republican voters said that if Trump were directly implicated in the crimes with Epstein, that they would vote for another party or pull their support. So that is incredibly sad. But they also found that the majority of the American people want all of those files released. And Trump and his people keep trying to deflect away from the whole thing, and the Republicans talking about it in Congress just keeps it fresh in everybody's head. Let's hope that Comer and the Republicans bring their same A-game of stupidity into this investigation into Epstein that they did for their fake Biden impeachment.